And everybody, we appreciate your patience. We're just working through a little technical issue here. We'll be with you in just a moment. Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League presented by Shoney's. Welcome back to school 120. Again, there's no image on the screen yet. We're just getting back into iRacing. I do apologize. We had a little technical snafu on my end, but we are getting up and running right now. While that's going on, let's take a look at our points coming in tonight. Jonathan Jennings is your points leader. Justin McMahon sits back in second. Kevin Thompson, Lucas Edwards, and Donnie Hughes round out your top five. Frank Hughes Jr. back in sixth. Adam Gardner, Chris Simon, Ricky Montgomery, and Justin Hughes, as we have drivers who we just took the green flag. Again, I do apologize for the delay on the start here, but we are actually under caution already, as it looks like we had some issues with the 7 of Gary Armia. I don't know if we're going to be able to get back and see it immediately. Well, at this point, the 7's already turned around. Oh, maybe I might be able to get to it here. It's right here on the start, actually. A big checkup at the start, and Emilio almost runs into the back of the 50. He gets turned around by Jeffrey Engel. Doesn't look like too much damage there, as I apologize. We have the race chatter on. We're going to get that turned off right now. And, yeah, that was the cause for incident right there on lap number 1. So again, this is the Support Local Schools 120 here at Las Vegas Motorspeedway. Again, I do apologize for the late start here tonight, but we are here bringing the action to you. Fortunately, right there on the race, the beginning of the race, we had the checkup. So, but we are here, we are live, and Steve Gerber is out in front. Let's see if we can take a look at the original starting grid here. Oh, looks like I loaded in a little too late to get to the starting grid. And that's what happens when you haven't run on iRacing in over a week and there is an update and you forgot to do the update. So that is 100% on me. And folks, I do apologize yet again. He blames the green room. We have some chats, though. We do have Lady Vixen saying, go Engel and Edwards. Thank you, Intensity, for the broadcast. Again, I do apologize for a little bit of a late start. Solomon says, go Edwards and Engel. And it's the one who said they blamed the green rims. Darlene McLaren says, let's go Neil Rutt. Savio says, go me. And don't worry about that warning there, Darian. My program doesn't like seeing spammed. It thinks it's spammed emotes. So don't worry about it. You're in good standing. We're not gonna kick you off the channel or anything like that. Don't worry. So while we're under caution, real quick, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Let's not forget about our great partners here in the Doghouse Racing League. Of course, for all your standings, news, and driver info, check out the doghouseracingligue.com. You can find all your information right there. Also, we want to throw a big shout out over to our new partner here with the Doghouse Racing League. And that is Rogue Energy, and you can use the code Doghouse for 10% off any hydration or energy drinks over at Rogue Energy. All proceeds, all commissions Doghouse Racing League will earn a part of the commission there. So using the link down in the description and using the code Doghouse for 10% off your order. Of course, we can't forget about our great partner over at Shoney's. Doghouse Racing League Tuesday Night Truck Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney. Shoney's open daily, every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Visit one of their West Virginia locations, try their legendary breakfast bar, and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Of course, we want to thank our great partners here on Intensity Broadcasting as well. Don't forget to check out the links down below. You have Race API for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit the Butt Kicker for all your iRacing haptic needs. Link down below in the description. Of course, you can help support our channel by checking out IntensityRacing.com. But here we go. Pace car is getting ready to take its turn back on the pit road. Steve Gerber is going to lead him down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air, and we are back racing. I'm sure that volume is way too loud, so let me get that adjusted because I just remembered. As Steve Gerber leads him down into turn number 2. Field already starting to get a little more single file as they come down the backstretch here at Las Vegas Motorspeedway. Las Vegas has a very unique layout to it. It's your typical D-shaped mile-and-a-half track, but there's a lot of characters, a lot of bumps on the track. In turns 1 and 2, there's a big bump as you enter turn number 1. You want to be either below it or above it. And then as you go into turn number 3, there's a big bump kind of right in the middle of the track as caution is back out on the racetrack. It looks like Leander Johnson's turned it around here on the front stretch. And Adam Gardner looks like he was involved as well. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see exactly what happened to Adam Gardner and Leander Johnson. It looks like coming off of, yeah, I see Leander losing the back end there a little bit. Checks up, chases the truck up the track. Adam Gardner trying to check up, not able to, gets into the back of that 32 machine. Looks like he was able to keep, both of them were able, oh, then he got turned around by Emil. Oh! That looked like Kevin Thompson coming in there with the heavy damage to the front end. Well, Kevin Thompson, nowheres to go. Ends up getting a little bit of damage on the front of his machine as well. So a tough break for Adam Gardner. Doesn't look like Adam's got too. Doesn't look like either driver has too much damage. We'll take a look at Adam Gardner's truck here. Yeah, looks like it's all right. Looks like Kevin Thompson got the worst of that one. We see a little bit of a crinkle there on the left rear quarter panel of the mystery machine right there. Looks like Michael Samia is going to come down pit road, get topped off. A couple other drivers coming down pit road. Justin McMahon on pit road. Christopher Simon coming down pit road. Jeffrey Wimmer. Neil Rutt coming down pit road. Gary O'Meal coming down pit road as well. So, and of course, Kevin Thompson, Adam Gardner, who were involved in that incident. So quite a few drivers down on pit road. A couple more chats here in the chat here. Kevin Brown says, good luck, boys. Have fun. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it into the race here tonight as well. Also love the name of tonight's race. Support your local schools. Absolutely back to school. A lot of places have been back to school for a little while now, but I know here in the Northeast, we started school about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. So most of the nation is back to school now. So we do support all of our teachers, principals, resource officers, anybody who does work in the school system. We appreciate you and what you do. And yes, everybody loves the wreckage rewind. I know I've had that one up for a little while. I know I tried to mix it up a little bit, but just haven't had the time to change it around. So while the field is getting ready, we'll mention our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus, which is the one that I personally own, is the new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and other gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products to figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And also on their website, you can check out and see which movie theaters are using Butt Kickers as well. That's right. Not just do they make gaming haptics, but they make special seats that the movie theaters have. They have that rumble and immersive feeling as well. So you can always check that out over at thebuttkicker.com. Well, Steve Gerber's got the field in tow. He's going to restart here on the bottom. That's going to put Marshall Johnson up on the outside here. Mike Leftwich and Daniel Wilkerson in row number 2. Tyler Millette and Kevin Powell back in row 3. Jonathan Jennings, Gary Maydew, back in row 4. And then Frank Hughes Jr. and Zach Lockett make up your top 10 here as the pace car gets ready to peel back down on the pit road. Steve Gerber's going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Las Vegas. And that top lane just not firing off as you see Daniel Wilkerson lose a little bit of ground here. He's going to fall back in the 4th. He's going to have Tyler Millette right there on the back bumper as they make their way off of turn number 2. A little further back, we see some side-by-side racing. We've got the 35 of Zach Lockett to the outside. I'm sorry, to the outside, the 81 of Chuck Cobb. Here comes the 89 of Dominic Hughes down on the low side to try to get around Zach as well. Lucas Edwards up into the 10th position, up 4 spots from where he started. Having a solid run right now, running that higher lane, which can work here at Las Vegas, especially here on these new tires. So this track is almost like a super speedway for these boys. We can ride along here. You hear just how little these drivers are lifting here on fresh tires. Edwards trying to use that high lane momentum, trying to keep that truck wound up and moving himself forward, and right now doing all he can up on that high lane. But gets checked up. Now he's going to look to the high side. They're going to go 3 wide off of turn number 2. That is the 63 of Maydew in the middle. Down on the bottom is the 91 of our points leader, Jonathan Jennings. And Lucas trying to keep that 3 wide momentum. Now Chuck Cobb down on the bottom as Jennings going to drive all the way down to the apron to try to take the shortest way around. And now Edwards is going to lose a couple spots here going down into turn number 1. Right behind we see the 2 of Ricky Montgomery trying to sneak into the mix here as well. Up front, Steve Gerber has got a mirrorful of Marshall Johnson. Not too far behind that, we see Daniel Wilkerson trying to hold off Frank Hughes Jr. So now Hughes up into the 3rd position. And he wants more. Oh, he tries to make a move down on Marshall Johnson. Johnson, though, throws a big block. That's going to ruin all the momentum of the 61 as he tries a little side draft here off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch through the tri-oval. And still almost 3 wide racing behind, so a lot of action here at Las Vegas. Las Vegas is always a racy track here with these trucks, and we're seeing just that as we see now Steve Gerber moving down to the bottom, trying to pick up the 31, trying to pull him along, use a little bit of that draft, and try to throw a little bit of a block there to keep that 61 machine behind him. You know, Wilkerson now moves back into the 4th spot, but he's got Kevin Powell to the outside as they come across the stripe to complete lap number 15. And Tyler Millette right there as well. We see Jonathan Jennings again. He said it last week, this race is going to play more like a super speedway than anything, and he's kind of landlocked right there in the 9th and 10th spot. He's been going back and forth. And see Maydew get a little loose there up on the high side, almost come down into the 91 of Jennings. Might have a little bit of help from the 89, maybe a little bit of a bump, but they keep it going straight as now Frank Hughes Jr. coming to take the lead with a push here from the 93 of Kevin Powell. Powell, a great pusher and a great super speedway racer. We've seen it time and time again, and here comes Steve Gerber trying to fight back down on that low side, trying to hold off the hard-charging Frank Hughes Jr., but Jr. is going to get the lead. He's going to take it away going down into turn number 3. Side-by-side action still as they come off of turn number 4. Thought Hughes was going to be able to clear down in front of Steve Gerber. Gerber fights back down on that low side. Gerber's getting a little bit of help now from the 31 of Marshall Johnson, as now Kevin Powell just not able to get back to the back bumper of Frank Hughes Jr. A little further back, we got side-by-side action between Mike Leftwich and Daniel Wilkerson as well. Basically throw a blanket over the top 13 as they rocket off of turn number 4. Frank Hughes able to clear the 8 machine finally as Kevin Powell and Steve Gerber go side by side for the second position. Daniel Wilkerson just fell all the way from 4th back to 8th. But just like any super speedway racing, type of racing, he'll be able to get right back up there with a little bit of push and some help from a friend. Speaking of push and some help, we see Justin McMahon. He is the first car in the second group trying to get a push here from Neil Rutt. And right behind we see Stephen Bonomo and Jeffrey Wimmer. They were just side by side, but now Bonomo trying to pull along that train, trying to get that group back up towards the front. Still side by side action for the second spot as Gerber is now going to lose that position. He's going to tuck in behind the 93 machine. And Marshall Johnson was taking a look down to the inside, just wasn't able to make that happen. And now he's got Gary Maydew up on the high side. And just like a super speedway, we're seeing a little bit of a side draft. That does actually work here is now Kevin Powell trying to use that side draft in the momentum to get around the 61 of Hughes and take over the lead himself. He's going to pull a little crossover here off of turn number 2 down to the inside as they rocket turns turn number 3. And now Kevin Powell with the power move down on the low side. He's going to take over the lead. Hughes is going to tuck back in line, use that momentum down the hill to try to stay with the 93 machine. And he's going to use the side draft now to try to pull that 93 back and try to get that lead back away. Well, further, we see the 94 of Tyler Millette and Ricky Montgomery battling side by side. Back up to the battle for the lead. Powell on the low side, Hughes up on the high side. Both drivers trying to use that side draft the best they can to keep themselves out in front. And now we see that second group that was led by Jess McMahon. They have caught this front pack and they are trying to make their way up through the field. We see him right on the back bumper of Zach Lockett. Chuck Cobb down on the low side as well. As the 93 is down in the grass. Not sure what happened to Kevin Powell here, but let's see if we can go back and take a look here, see what happened to Powell. Down on the low side, and a little bit of contact from Gerber. He had to check up. So Powell had to check up a little bit, and then Gerber just got into the back of the 93, and that is what set him back to the 19th position. But a lot of racing left, a lot of time for him to get back up towards the front. As Jess McMahon now using that high side. Little big wiggle out of Daniel Wilkerson. That allows McMahon to continue to rip that high lane and continue to move himself forward. So now Frank Hughes Jr. has a half-second lead over Steve Gerber. And that's another almost half-second back to the 31 of Marshall Johnson. And then the rest of the field still kind of nose to tail down the straightaways, but fanning out as they make their way through the corners. Justin McMahon up into the 7th position. Remember, he just pitted on that last yellow, and he's continuing to work his way up towards the front. Hearing there's a huge save out back. Might have been Bunomo right here. Let's see here, the 9 of Bunomo. Now I saw he was lost a few positions there. Let's take a look here. It might have been Jeffrey Wimmer. One truck way up into the outside wall. That's the 15. Yep, not sure who the big save was, but right now we've got a bit of a runaway happening right now as Frank Hughes continues to pull away. A little further back, you see Gary Maydew and Dominic Hughes side by side. This is a battle for the 4th position. And here's Justin McMahon taking a look down to the inside of Ricky Montgomery. And yellow's out. Yellow flag is out. Big wreck here. 4, 5, 6 trucks involved in this one. Michael Dow, Jeffrey Wimmer, Justin Hughes, Jonathan Smith involved in this one as well. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind as we take a look to see exactly what brought this one out. It's a little 3-wide racing here. We see the 93 of Kevin Powell in the middle. And on the bottom, that is Jonathan Smith, who gets right reared right up into Jeffrey Wimmer. Those two make hard contact with the outside wall. And then because this is kind of like super speedway racing, we have drivers just nowheres to go. The 14 of Jeffrey Engel comes flying in with nowheres to go. The 08 also makes a bit of contact as well. There's Justin Hughes there. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's the 08 of Justin Hughes. We'll take a focus on him here, and you'll see he just has nowheres to go. And one more driver was involved in that. I think that was Eddie Rivers. He's caught up in that one as well. So you can see what happened to Rivers here. If it was just another case of just nowheres to go. And yeah, he gets tagged right there and hard contact. Well, that's going to bring the entire field down onto pit road. Frank Hughes, the first one on pit road. First one off pit road. So going to see if anybody was going to try to gamble here in Las Vegas with a 2-tire pit stop, but it looks like everybody taking 4 tires and fuel. Also, we want to remind you that the Doghouse Racing League Truck Series is fueled by Rogue Energy. Use the coupon code DOGHOUSE for 10% off your order for energy and hydration products. Of course, all commissions earned through this link help support the Doghouse Racing League. Of course, we can't forget about our great friends over at Shoney's as well. Doghouse Racing League's Tuesday Night Truck Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations and try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar or take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Also, we want to thank our great partners over here at Intensity Broadcasting, including Race EPI for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs. Our website over at intensityracing.com, and of course the butt kicker. But here we go. We're going back green flag racing. Frank Hughes up, down on the bottom. Steve Gerber on the high side. So pace car makes its way down onto pit road. And the green flag is back in the air. A big jump for Hughes. As Gerber was caught sleeping there, here comes Marshall Johnson down on the low side, trying to make a move around that 8 machine. And Johnson's going to move solidly up into that second position. Now here comes Dominic Hughes taking a look down to the inside. And Johnson's in the middle of a Hughes set. Oh, the 8 gets loose! Big save! Gerber with a huge save. We got a couple drivers, though, scattering through the grass. We stay green, but a couple drivers having to make their way down pit road. Caution is now on the racetrack. It looks like Johnson's... No, it wasn't Jonathan Smith. Richard Leclerc maybe have come back on the racetrack and bring out the caution. I'm going to go on a record rewind on this one, but I think it was just a matter of everybody... Oh, driver spinning down onto pit road. That's what brought out the caution there. See who the drivers were that made their way down on the pit road to try to avoid this. Oh, we see Chuck Cobb having some issues here. Oh, he gets down into Bonomo, and Bonomo goes down spinning through pit road. But it all started with Steve Gerber. Who's already out of shape at this point. And, oh, right behind we see the 2 of Ricky Montgomery was sideways as well. Couple drivers making evasive action, but we see Gerber down, still trying to hang on to it. Look at the tire marks there. Had that truck completely sideways. And then a little further back is where we saw the 81 get a little loose there as well. Get into Samia there, and we see Leclerc go down through the grass as well. In the chat, we see R.I.P. Ingle. We love you, Ingle. We will rebuild. We can rebuild him stronger, faster, better. Well, maybe stronger. Guys are having fun out there in the chat, so that's what we like to see. We like to see the chat lively here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, right now this is the only series we are currently broadcasting on Tuesday nights, as the SCSRA is going to be returning back on September 20th. Excuse me, September 19th. So the 19th, they're going to have their Clash, which is just a non-points race, but a fun race. Kind of get everybody set up for Daytona the following week. Of course, they're going to have a little different look to their season with a couple crown jewel events in both series to get a little extra money out on the table. So you're not going to want to miss that after the Doghouse Racing Leagues on Tuesday night, when they return on September 19th. So it looks like next time by, we're going to get the 1 to go. The lights will turn off on the pace car. We'll get ready to go back green flag racing. Of course, next week, the Doghouse Racing League will be moving on. Doing a little short track racing in Virginia over at Richmond Raceway. In Atlanta, Worldwide Technology, North Wilkesboro, and Charlotte Oval before, and then Darlington before we take our break for Halloween. So here we go. Frank Hughes going to choose the inside lane. Marshall Johnson going to be up on the high side. Row 2 will find our points leader, Jonathan Jennings, who's been quiet all night long, finds himself running up in third with Dominic Hughes to his outside in fourth. Gary Maydew and Neil Rutt will be back in row number 3. Then back in row number 4, we'll find Justin McMahon and Daniel Wilkerson. Then Mike Leftwich and Christopher Simon back in row 5. Row 6 is going to be Steve Gerber and Ricky Montgomery, who both had amazing saves just before the caution came out. Lucas Edwards running back in the 13th position with the 76. I'm sorry, Zach Lockett running back in the 13th position with Lucas Edwards up on the high side in 14th. We'll find Michael Dow and Richard Leclerc back in row number 8. Row 9 will be Mark Dumont, Leander Johnson, and then Michael Samia and Kevin Powell will be your top 20 as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Joe Pace car has made its way down on the pit road. Frank Hughes going to lead him down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Another great jump for our leader in the outside lane, just not getting going. As you saw, Marshall Johnson kind of spin the tires a little bit on that restart. And the 63 of Maydew got into the back of him. That's going to allow Jonathan Jennings to move up into that second position. Here comes Hughes. Dominic Hughes, that is, down to the inside of Marshall Johnson. But Johnson's going to throw a big block here. He's going to put Hughes up on the high side as they make their way down into turn number 3. Here comes Jennings running that little bit high lane. Hughes thought about pushing it towards the middle, 3 wide. Now he's going to look up to the high side of Jennings, as we are just past halfway here at Las Vegas Motorspeedway. Another side-by-side battle here. Ricky Montgomery, Daniel Wilkerson, as they make their way down into turn number 3. It's a battle for the 10th position. We see Gary Maydew working up to the high side of McMahon. McMahon trying to take a look down to the inside of Johnson. He's going to make it 3 wide as they come down the front stretch and towards turn number 1. A little side draft there from the 24 of McMahon. He's going to move himself solidly up into the top 5, up into 4th. Right behind, we see Neil Rutt coming through, trying to put himself up into the top 5. Following McMahon. Oh, some contact there between Rutt and Johnson. Johnson has to get on throttle to keep that truck under control. He's going to lose a position now to Gary Maydew. So move Neil Rutt back into the 5th position. And Just McMahon with a head of steam now, making his way around Dominic Hughes and putting himself up into the 3rd position. And he wants more as he takes a look down to the inside of Jonathan Jennings. And McMahon's going to get a big shove here from the 89 of Hughes. And Dominic Hughes is going to move himself up in the 3rd position. Now McMahon's in a bit of a situation here. He's getting a Hughes sandwich. You know, Dominic isn't really going to want to try to help Justin here. Justin swings out, tries to take that long or that high lane, kind of run the truck down the hill to get the momentum. But here comes Hughes. Dominic Hughes taking a look down to the inside. Almost some contact as the big block was put by McMahon down through the tri-oval. But here comes Dominic to the inside of the 24 of McMahon. Right behind, we see Neil Rutt going up into the mix here as well. Rutt trying to push Justin McMahon up towards the front. Frank Hughes going to run that high lane, try to block the 24's progress. He's going to slide back down in front of Dominic. Now Dominic's trying to take a look down to the inside of McMahon. Side by side for third is Dominic Hughes and Neil Rutt run side by side. 2 rows behind that, we see a side by side action between that is Marshall Johnson and the 63 of Maydew. Jonathan Jennings has fallen back into the 5th position as the battle for the lead is now heating up. McMahon down on the low side. McMahon's actually going to lead that lap. So get a lap led for the 24 of McMahon, who's driven his way back up through the field after pitting early. Now finds himself battling with Frank Hughes for the lead. Almost some contact there between McMahon and Hughes. Hughes tried to use a little bit of a side draft to keep that 24 machine behind him. Now Jonathan Jennings back up in the mix here as he's cleared Maydew. He's trying to work that high lane where Justin McMahon and the Neil Rutt machine are. Although Rutt's going to pull down in front of Justin McMahon as Jonathan Jennings now going to take a look up to the high side of McMahon. So great battles all the way through the field. Even further back, Daniel Wilkerson and Christopher Simon are side by side. This is a battle for the 10th and 11th position. We see Samia right there in the mix, as well as the 76 of Lucas Edwards. Well, our top 7 drivers now starting to get a little more single file as they make their way down the backstretch. First drivers that are side by side would be Simon and Wilkerson. Actually, it's Simon and Edwards. Battle for the 12th position. And Michael Samia right there trying to make his way through as well. How about Kevin Powell? Back up into the 16th position after having some issues early. Trying to work his way back up towards the front. Right now, finds himself back in the 16th position, trying to take a look underneath the 35 of Zach Lockett for 15th. Dominic Hughes just pulled out of line. He's the first driver to break the snake as they come down the backstretch into turn number 4. He's going to have to tuck it back in line, though, behind Justin McMahon, just not able to make the move by himself. He's going to need a little bit of help from one of these guys. And it looks like he might have some help here in the form of the 63 of Gary Maydew. Okay, Doggy, that's Kevin Brown says, fun little race, missed racing this season. Kirk says, let's go 35. As the 35 of Zach Lockett currently running back in the 14th position. I thought Gary Maydew was going to be able to help out Dominic Hughes a little bit, but now we see Maydew falling back. Just got passed by Marshall Johnson as well, although Johnson's now getting a little bit of a battle back up on the high side. But Maydew's going to have to tuck back in line into the 7th position as Mike Leftwich is right there in 8th. And Steve Gerber in 9th. hanging on to the tail end of this field. And we'll find Ricky Montgomery, who's a little bit of a gap back to him, and Daniel Wilkerson trying to catch this front group. Of course, with the draft being as strong as it is, these drivers should be able to catch up without issue, as Jonathan Jennings now has a mirror full of Justin McMahon. And that's a lot of what we saw last season, these two battling it out. Actually, we had a 3-truck race for the championship last season between Jonathan Jennings, Justin McMahon, and Adam Gardner. Gardner, though, unfortunately, he's had a string of bad luck this season. Currently finds himself running back in the 23rd position. So it doesn't look like we'll be seeing any Scooby Snacks here tonight. See that 91 of Jonathan Jennings running that September 11th scheme. Very sharp looking patriotic scheme out of the 91. Still has that 24 glued to his back bumper, as Frank Hughes Jr. continues to lead over Neil Rutt by about 0.2 of a second. So we got about 23 laps to go here. And it's been all Frank Hughes for the last about 30 of them. Right now, everybody on the racetrack pretty much single file as we see field making their way around. And at this point in the run, these guys are back last on pit road on lap 31. So with about 30 laps on the tires, these drivers are really starting to feel that tire wear. Remember, earlier in the race, we were listening to the drivers running wide open around the racetrack. Let's run along with Justin McMahon here. Let's see if he's having the lift here as he makes his way around the racetrack. Oh! Frank Hughes makes his way down onto pit road. And here, just how much. It doesn't seem like a lot, but that is a huge lift here, getting down into the corner. A few drivers down on pit road. We see Hughes, Steve Gerber coming down on pit road, Chuck Cobb, Dominic Hughes, Leander Johnson. So a bunch of drivers making their way down onto pit road with 20 laps to go. Yeah, Hughes was running a little bit of a defensive line, but that's because he was getting ready to pit. He was trying to do everything he can to keep these drivers behind him to give himself an opportunity to get in and off of pit road the best. So it makes me wonder who's the next driver's coming down the pit road. Here comes Neil Rutt down on the pit road. Marshall Johnson also down on pit road. Christopher Simon coming down on the pit road. Justin McMahon just leaving pit road. And Jonathan Jennings still up at the lead. He's got a 1.5 second lead over Mike Leftwich. So now these drivers are making their way off of pit road. Oh! Big slide out of the 31, trying to get those tires, those cold tires, hooked up to get back out onto the racetrack. So when is Jennings going to make his way down onto pit road? Looks like he might be slowing down. Yep, he's coming down onto pit road right here. You can get that truck wound down the pit road speed. He can. And that's going to give the lead over to Mike Leftwich as Daniel Wilkerson, Tyler Millette, Mark Dumont, and Michael Dow also make their way down onto pit road. How about this Adam Gardner staying out on the racetrack, currently in the 4th position? We know he's very used to staying out and trying to run a little different strategy, trying to gamble here. Currently up in the 4th position. I don't think he's been able to save enough fuel, although he was last on pit road on lap 38. So he's got about 7 laps more fuel than the other drivers did, as we see the 35 on fresher tires making his way right around. Now Mike Leftwich making his way down onto pit road. That's going to give the lead over to Justin Hughes, who passes pit road and takes over the lead of the race. So after Justin Hughes was caught up in an incident earlier on, now finds himself getting some bonus points for leading here tonight. So Mike Leftwich and Rich Leclerc both on pit road, and I think I just heard a little bit of saving out of the 8 machine. We'll ride along here with Hughes. Let's see if we hear him shut that truck off or clutch it going down into the corner. Maybe it wasn't him. It could have been Adam Gardner. Gardner's known for doing that as well. Well, sounds like Adam Gardner's trying to run it full out as well, so. Justin Hughes was last on pit road on lap 36. Now he's making his way down onto pit road. And Adam Gardner going to take over the lead of the race. Coming to 12 laps to go. I'll just see the 2. Oh, the 2 gets round. Ricky Montgomery goes around, comes back up the racetrack. Oh! Huge hit for the 50. Caution out on the racetrack. Michael Dow took a huge hit there. That is going to bring out our wreckage rewind. We see the 2 trying to make his way around Adam Gardner. He's on much fresher tires. Adam Gardner on older tires. And looks like a little side draft and gone wrong there as the 2 was trying to side draft. And I don't know, Adam Gardner wasn't expecting that 2 to be so tight on him. Pushes him up into the outside wall. Comes back down across the track. Tries to get it locked down. And then here comes the 50 of Dow. Just nowheres to go. Also comes up into a Mio. We ride along here with Dow. You'll see just how fast this happened and just how little time he had to react. Well, that's going to bring Adam Gardner down onto pit road with Kevin Thompson. The only two drivers coming down on pit road. That's going to give the lead of the race back to Frank Hughes Jr. So now the running order here under yellow. Frank Hughes Jr. going to be your leader. Gary Maydew back in second. Justin McMahon in third. Jonathan Jennings, Dominic Hughes, your top five. Steve Gerber up into sixth. Kevin Powell, Marshall Johnson, Michael Samia, and Daniel Wilkerson, your top 10. So we have about, when we go green, we're going to have 7 or 8 laps left to go. We'll have to see where Frank Hughes decides to restart. We've seen that high lane just not take off, so I have every inkling that the 61 machine will be choosing the inside lane on this restart. Good Lord is right. And oof. Absolutely. I mean, that was a hard hit for the 50. Didn't look like such a hard hit on the inside view, but from the outside, that was a really big hit. I'm surprised that 50 was able to escape with what little damage he has. Sometimes it just happens so fast. You don't have a chance to even really realize what's happening in front of you. At that point, you just become a passenger and you're along for the ride. When they come across the line, there we have the lights on, the pace car are off. Which means we're going to go back green flag racing this time by. Well, Frank Hughes Jr. down on the low side. Gary Maydew up on the high side. Justin McMahon, Jonathan Jennings back in row number 2. Dominic Hughes, Steve Gerber, row number 3. Kevin Powell, Marshall Johnson, and then Michael Samia and Lucas Edwards round out your top 10. As we get ready to try to run to the green here. See if they can keep it green for about 7 more laps as the pace car gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn. Down on the pit road. Frank Hughes Jr. is going to lead the field down to the Geico restart zone. Green flags back in the air. We are back racing with 7 laps to go. Another great jump for Frank Hughes Jr. Gary Maydew right behind. Here comes McMahon. Take a look down to the inside of Maydew. Maydew opened the door just enough for that 24 to sneak out underneath. And as they come off of turn number 2, McMahon's going to slide up in front of Maydew. Maydew, though, trying to take a look back to the high side. A little bit of a defensive move there from the 24 of McMahon as they make their way off of turn number 4. Here comes the 89 of Dominic Hughes down to the bottom. McMahon's going to drive all the way down onto the apron. Slides up the track. Oh, gets a little looser. Gets a little tap from the 63 of Maydew. Able to hold on to it, though. What a save from the 24. Maydew said, you cut my nose off a couple times. I'm not going to cut you any slack back. And almost sent the 24 for a ride. As here comes Jonathan Jennings here back in the 4th position. He's trying to make himself known here as we come to 5 laps to go. A little wiggle out of the 91. Oh, the 91 gets turned! Jonathan Jennings hard up in the outside wall. Caution is out. Driver's side up against the wall. You hate to see it. He's going to continue to roll. That's going to bring out another wreckage rewind. See Jonathan Jennings trying to push his way back up the track. Half on the asphalt, or half on the apron, half on the racetrack. And then we see Hughes up on the high side. Gets a little loose. Hughes just got loose. Came down into Jennings, who was pushing up the track at the same time. Hard head first out into the outside wall. And then we saw Justin Hughes having some issues here as well. Let's focus back on the 08. Oh. Oh. Another big wreck. Let's rewind this one quite a bit and take a look at this second incident that happened kind of at the same time. And viewing it that has to do with Dominic Hughes. Oh, so this is part of the first incident. Okay, so Dominic Hughes gets into the right rear of Justin McMahon, and when he spins back around, we see the 93 Kevin Powell get forced 3 wide. Powell gets up into Hughes, sends the 89 around right in front of Steve Gerber, who's able to avoid it. See that wheel cranked hard to the right as he's trying to hold onto that truck. Overcorrects the truck. Comes sliding back across the track right in front of Samia. And you see Daniel Wilkerson, Adam Gardner, just nowheres to go. Both those drivers caught in it heavily. You see Gardner come down across the track. And he is going to, I believe, clip, the 08. He catches the 08. And Leclerc just nowhere to go. He gets right reared. Ooh, hard head first into the outside wall. Roof cam, please. Which truck? We can do a couple of them here. Let's do a roof cam of Jonathan Jennings here. Here's the roof of Richard Leclerc. Just, again, nowhere to go. You hear him on the binders trying to slow down, and he just gets absolutely hooked right there. Hard into the outside wall. Roof cam of the 89. We can do that. Oof. I think might be a little bit more telling of the whole incident would be riding along on the onboard here. Oh, let's go a little further back. You see those hands nice and steady. He's got it cranked a little too. Yeah, he's just trying to hold on to it, and he wasn't expecting Jennings to come up the track like that. Unfortunate incident as, oh man, Leclerc just nowheres to go. Well, this will bring up the 3 most exciting words in motorsports. green, white, checker. There you go. Frank Hughes going to take the inside lane, putting Justin McMahon up on the high side. We've seen all race long that high side just not able to fire off. We'll have to see what McMahon's going to try to do here on this restart to try to get himself in victory lane. Of course, Gary Maydew down on the bottom in the second row. He's got a good opportunity here as well. Brad Keselowski won this race. Then come on, 24 and 93. Talking about the 24, Justin McMahon, in the 93 of Kevin Powell. They are lined up there, nose to tail, up on that high side. As the pace car gets ready, take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. As they approach the Geico restart zone, you see Maydew right there on the back bumper. Green flag's back in the air. We are back racing, and I think Frank Hughes might be in a world of trouble here, as he has no help, in the 93 and the 24 are hooked up on that high line as they're trying to make their way around the 63 of Gary Maydew. Nice clean restart as the field getting a little stretched out in the middle of the pack, as Justin McMahon continues to get a big shove here, and Maydew pushes him up the track. That's going to allow the 93 to take a look down to the inside as the white flag is out. 1 lap to go. Gary Maydew with a head of steam now towards the 61 of Frank Hughes. McMahon and Powell almost make a little bit of contact. Powell's going to move up into the third position, but here comes Maydew now to the inside. He's going to take over the lead as Kevin Powell has some issues. I'm sorry, that is oh, that is the end of the race. I apologize. I thought we were going one more. I need to see what my flag status is. This was Frank Hughes Jr. getting the win. Gary Maydew comes across line second. Kevin Powell. I thought we were having a green-white checker, not just a white checker finish there. So I was excited to see how that one was going to play out. But Frank Hughes Jr. is going to get the win here tonight. I apologize for getting the extra excitement there. I figured I started the race late. I might as well finish it late too. As Frank Hughes Jr. gets the win and celebrates here on the front stretch, let's take a look at the final results. And Frank Hughes Jr. gets the win. Gary Maydew comes home second. Kevin Powell back in the third position. Justin McMahon and Marshall Johnson round out your top 5. Steve Gerber comes home in 6th. Lucas Edwards 7th. Mike Leftwich, Neil Rutt, and Michael Samia round out your top 10. Tyler Millette brings it home 11th. Christopher Simon back in 12th. Zach Lockett, Kevin Thompson, and Leander Johnson your top 15. 16th was Jonathan Jennings. Daniel Wilkerson back in 17th. Stephen Denomo back in the 18th position. 19th, Justin Hughes and Michael Dow round out your top 20. Adam Gardner brings it home 21st. Mark Dumont 22nd. Gary Amio back in 23rd. Dominic Hughes 24th. Richard Leclerc back in 25th. Then Ricky Montgomery, Chuck Cobb, Jonathan Smith, Jeffrey Engel, and Jeffrey Rimmer round out your top 30, with Eddie Rivers and Andrew St. Cyr rounding out the rest of the field here tonight at Las Vegas. As we get ready to talk to our top 3 here tonight, starting with your third place finisher, Kevin Powell. Kevin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, Josh, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing... Oh, hang on one second. Seems like you're a little quiet on my end here. There we go. Doing well, man. Man, congrats on the race. We know you're a strong super speedway racer, and this track kind of runs like a super speedway, so it kind of fell into your hands there. I know you had a little issue there midway through the race. Got a little loose, got sent back to the back, but drove yourself right back up to the front. Talk us through that incredible drive back through the field.
I mean, honestly, it was my pit strategy, the gambling. This track, you're right, it races like a super speedway, so there's really no way to pass here. You can get underneath the guy, but you like these trucks with the engines, they just don't have the power off the corners. So the guy on the outside, he gets the run, and you just stay side by side forever. I think me and Jonathan in practice, we were practicing and we did like 15 laps side by side. Neither one of us could clear each other.
Yeah, it seems like the side draft was a little bit stronger since the new build. For those who don't know, iRacing does a new build every 12 weeks, and this is the first race, actually the first race since the update yesterday or last week. So, talk us through that. Did the side draft just feel a little bit stronger in these trucks tonight, or was that just a matter of how even these trucks were here tonight?
The side draft, you really don't feel it like you do on a super speedway. Like you don't feel your truck slow down or anything. It's just you hold someone to the bottom and it just kills the momentum on the engine. I take it back to like when I used to race go-karts and it was all momentum based, and you just, if you lose that momentum, you're struggling to get it back and you're gonna fall some positions. So if someone holds you to the bottom, you will lose the momentum.
Well, either way, it was a great race there for you at the end. I know you were trying to push McMahon there, who got a little bit out of shape, but you find yourself up on the podium, so congrats on that. And before we let you go, Kevin, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give you tonight?
Yeah, man, I want to thank you guys for the broadcast each and every week. Y'all do an amazing job. All of our sponsors that sponsor us, all the admins, the drivers council, everything, we put in place to help this league be one of the best on the platform, and all the drivers out there, man, in our league. Like tonight was a lot of cautions, but I feel like there's sometimes we go caution free, so I want to just give it up to the drivers.
Yeah, even though there was a couple cautions tonight, they were it was still great racing. We had a lot of comments here, especially Kevin Brown, who said it was a great race, wishes he was out there. So, again, congrats on the top three here tonight, and good luck the rest of the season. We'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your third place finisher, Kevin Powell. Let's bring in your second place finisher here tonight. Driver of the 63, Gary Maydew. Gary, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, buddy. How you doing, Josh?
Man, I'm doing well. What a run for you here tonight. Kind of up and down all night race long, but you got yourself up to the front here to finish second. Those cautions kind of fell right in your favor, it seemed like, at the end to get that great run. Talk about that last run to the checker there.
Man, we had a good truck. I was the first one to do the short pitting, and I was actually catching Frank. And I was saying, okay, this is good because I had, like, I think trucks behind me, third and fourth, were like 2.5 seconds. And I'm catching Frank, and then the caution came out. And I think, I'm not sure if they didn't take any tires, but I took right sides on that short pit. And I liked the way the truck was driving, the way it was rotating in that turn. Sometimes I use that middle line, depending where trucks were at. But on that restart, I actually thought there was one more lap. And I'm saying, yeah, we're going to catch him. And I said, why is the checkered flag out, man? No.
I agree with that, because I was actually continuing to announce after the checker flag, because I thought we were doing green-white checker, not just green checker. So, so you're not the only one out there who was misinformed there. But, man.
Oh, okay, cool.
What a run. It was a great run either way.
Yeah, it was really good driving. I like the mutual respect with drivers, give and take, and like I didn't want to push it at the beginning. I just want to see how the tires ran, and I ran most of that middle line and was able to make passes and hold my positions like that. But yeah, really good drivers here tonight.
Not just that, but we noticed that you were able to make a lot of your passes tonight here on the outside lane. Was that kind of a surprising thing that the outside was as strong here tonight as it was?
Yeah. Originally I was gonna use that high line, but during practice, I was losing too much in that, in the middle, in the middle and off in those turns. So I was happy with that. It's stuck there, man. You really picked up a lot of momentum coming out of like 2 and coming out of 4 on that middle line.
Well, again, great run for you. Coming up runner-up here tonight. I know you wish you had one more lap, but either way, great finish here. And Gary, before we let you go, anyone want to thank any shout-outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I got a shout out to my crew, my Chevy Kiss car, which I've been driving for 23 years, my company, Go Aces Inc. and Lucky Dog Hospitality, my partner in business, Mike Schreiner, my 2 kids, Blake and Taylor, and all 3 of my grandchildren. Chloe just had her 2nd birthday, Nathaniel, and my grandson, Quinn. There you go.
Awesome.
And thank you guys, man. That was good broadcasting.
I appreciate that, man. Well, again, congratulations on the runner-up position. Hopefully, we'll talk to you again soon.
Oh, yeah. I'm not leaving the podium.
Have a great night.
Thanks, buddy.
So that was your second place finisher, Gary Maydew. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, driver of the 61 Hughes machine, Frank Hughes Jr. Frank, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you, Josh.
Man, what a dominating performance. Once you got out front, there was just no looking back. You had a little bit of a different pit cycle than everybody else, but it seemed to work out in your favor until those cautions kind of came out there, which I'm sure you did not want to see, especially that last caution there at the end.
No, I really didn't want to see the actual last 2 cautions at the end, but you know what? We'll still take it. Overall, a good night. I really, really got to thank Neil Rutt for getting up into second and just working with me and just making sure we both got out and got away.
Yeah, a lot of help with your teammates there. I know we saw Dominic up there trying to help you out there as well. Just a strong run for the whole team there tonight. Was that kind of the goal? Because it kind of runs like a super speedway. Try to get the team up there and try to work with each other?
Not really. It was everybody, kind of fend for themselves. Dominic's trying to prove himself and get up here and beat me and his uncle and Neil and try to prove a point. And he just can't seal the deal. He can't finish it off.
Yeah, it seems like he runs into a little bit of mishap. It wasn't his fault. I'm not putting blame. Don't make it sound like I'm putting blame. It just
no. You're good.
He hasn't had much luck. Is the word I should say.
He has the bad luck. If he has no luck, he has bad luck. That's what he's got.
Yeah, because it just he had that incident with Jennings there, which was a complete racing deal, and man, I'm sure he'll get up there. A lot of racing left in the season. We'll see him up towards the front, I'm sure, and hopefully we'll get him in the booth one of these races. But man, overall, just a great night for you. I wasn't able to catch qualifying, so what was different? Because I know you didn't start on the front row. What was the difference between qualifying and race for you to get yourself up towards the front?
Honestly, I race better than I do qualifying. So like qualifying, I'm terrible. It's whatever. I just got to work with it and get to the front as quick as I can, and that's what I did tonight. I made as much quick work of the fast guys that I could, and then just bided my time to get to the lead.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the race win here tonight. Before we let you go, Frank, anyone want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
I'd love to give a shout out to Doghouse Racing League for putting this on. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing this. You guys for the broadcasting do a phenomenal job every night. I want to thank my teammates, Justin Hughes, Dominic Hughes, and Neil Rutt III for all they do. And last, Hughes's Garage in North Carolina and Hughes's Garage in Pennsylvania. If it wasn't for them guys.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win. Good luck next week, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Have a good night.
You as well. So that was your winner, Frank Hughes Jr., and that's going to do it for us here tonight on the here on Intensi Broadcasting with the Doghouse Racing League presented by Shoney's. Of course, the Doghouse Racing League is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Of course, Shoney's is open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations and try their fresh prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Of course, are also their great new partner over at Rogue Energy for all your energy and hydration needs. Check out Rogue Energy at the link below. Use the code Doghouse for 10% off. And all commissions earned through the links help support the Doghouse Racing League. Of course, I want to thank our great partners over at Race EPI for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs. Visit raceepi.com. Check out our website over at intensitybroadcasting.com. And of course, the Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Don't forget to check out thebuttkicker.com. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Again, congrats to Frank Hughes Jr. on the win, and we'll see you next week right here on Intensity Broadcasting. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say,